the focus has been quite rightly on the tragic number of deaths, but there's been quite a lot of government guidance and discussion from politicians about the effect that the pandemic has had on families. The obvious thoughts are that suddenly being confined to home in an unnatural way, when things may have been difficult already, has placed added stress on many relationships, whether that is as a result of being furloughed and suddenly being at home more, or change of roles of child carers, as well as the stresses of working from home and schooling your children from home, are all part and parcel of the additional stresses probably faced by many households across the country. The first thing I would suggest is to think about relationship counselling. Relate have excellent services available. Think about trying to find ways to communicate still. Mediation, collaborative practices are really excellent and help to keep that communication going, because effective communication is usually regarded as the key to effective co-parenting after separation. A couple of months ago, we wouldn't have thought twice about getting lawyers and clients together for a four-way meeting. Now that's just not possible, and nobody knows when we're going to be able to do that again. However, in these unprecedented times, lawyers have moved fairly rapidly to changing the way in which we deliver those kinds of services. Mediations are now taking place by Zoom or Skype. There's the potential for collaborative work to be done in that way. There are some added complications with that need to be managed, certainly, especially if you've got children at home with you all the time. But thinking laterally and trying to do things a bit differently should be possible to still make those services and ways of helping people work. I think the thing that is on most people's minds at the moment is obviously wanting to keep themselves and their children safe and well. People seem to think that court hearings aren't taking place at all. In fact, they are. Certainly in our area, a lot of court hearings are still taking place, but by telephone, with some hearings having to be rescheduled because it's simply not possible to deal with all court hearings by telephone. Some other things that are on people's minds at the moment are the financial uncertainty caused by the global market volatility as a result of the pandemic. People are very uncertain what the position is with their jobs, what the position is with the value of pensions and property at the moment. It's been widely publicised that we could be heading into a depression or even a recession, but nobody really knows. And so a lot of people have said, well, do we carry on dealing with the resolution of our financial settlement at the moment, or should we put the brakes on? And actually nobody really knows the right answer to that. But it's a discussion that I've had with many, many clients, and a fair proportion have decided that they want to put the brakes on and just see where the land lies in a couple of months. Others want to press on. Nobody really knows what the right answer is. Only time will tell. My usual advice to clients is try and avoid court wherever you can, and that, I think, is still good advice. It is no doubt going to be difficult for the courts to process the same number of hearings in the same speed that they were able to before. In fact, things are probably going to take longer now. Probably an even better time to really be thinking whether processes such as mediation or the collaborative process can work. They can work for lots of people, maybe not for everybody, but it's certainly well worth exploring whether that is a process that can be helpful to you and your family. It might be helpful to just recap briefly that mediation is a process where the couple engage a neutral, independent and impartial mediator who is there to help identify what needs to be discussed and explore options to try and resolve them. The mediator doesn't make decisions. The couple are still in charge of that. In the collaborative process, the couple each have an independent solicitor who is acting in their best interests. And the solicitors with the couple work together as a team to find the fairest outcomes for the family unit as a whole. They're different processes, but they both have one thing in common, that communicating together is a better way of working rather than spending months and a huge amount of money litigating through the courts. The speed with which the lockdown was introduced changed everybody's lives overnight. A divorce or a separation in itself is an incredibly stressful time of life. Having to deal with that at the same time as a pandemic and a lockdown is really just a perfect storm for having an incredibly stressful situation, and for any couples who have successfully navigated that, you should recognise, I think, that they've done incredibly well.